In this beekeeping video I just made, twice I think I said that in that big beehive they had been eating the sugar on top, all those bees on top, but they hadn't. Once I cleaned it off, they hadn't even started to eat the sugar. They were just up there, and then most of the bees were dead in the bottom. So they were using their honey stores for as long as they were in the winter. Looked like mostly out of the bottom brood, and then the top brood just was full of honey. So anyway, watch the video, but ignore my references to the sugar on top. All right, guys, we are going to dive into this bigger hive and see what's going on inside there. I'm positive they're all dead. I haven't seen them flying around here as the snow has melted off, and it's May after a long winter. Let's see if I can set this up and show you what's in here. Hey, quite a bit of sugar there. So these look, I don't know if it makes sense, but they look like more freshly dead, like the bodies are still soft. The other one, they look like they've been dead a long time, but these may have lived quite a while through the winter. But let's get in there and see what it looks like. Try and set this up here. Try this up. Scared me. Looks like they did quite a bit of work in this upper frame. I hadn't opened this for a long time before the winter set in. I was just trying to let them do their thing as bees. Man, look at that, full of honey. That backside is just chock full of honey. This looks like a really full and healthy hive. It's unfortunate they didn't live. I mean, these frames are just full of honey in the upper. Oh, look at that. That's heavy with honey. Man, that's too bad. These bees look like they might have lived. I thought I was hearing them, and they look like they might have lived for quite a while this winter. They got a lot of honey in here. Look at that. These frames are just heavy with honey. Half tempted to just harvest this honey. Look at that. A Lots of honey. Plenty of food. These frames are just full. Full of honey. Super heavy. That thing weighs, feels like it weighs 15 pounds or 20 pounds. I mean, it's heavy. I'm sure it's not that heavy, but it feels that way compared to how a hive or a frame should weigh. Jeez. Look at this. Look at that. It's just dripping. Kind of got a little weird with their building of the honey frames, but good grief. It's a lot of honey. I thought, wow, look at that. Has some really nice color to it, some rich color. I want to eat a little bit. It's good. Oh man, I can barely lift that. Whew, that was heavy. Again, like the last hive, it feels like they just froze one night, like they were in working and doing their thing. But these bodies seem like they're freshly frozen, like it hasn't been long. What a bummer. This one's built out so much, I'm not sure what to do here without making a big mess. A little nervous about just throwing honeycomb out here in case other bees come and or wasps. So like I said, I'm half tempted to harvest this second thing of honey here because there's so much, but just borrow somebody's deal and harvest it now. But since I'm getting 2 nukes, I kind of want to just place all these honey frames with each of those nukes and let them just have at it. I'll probably ask around and see what people tell me to do with them. But I mean, there's a lot of honey in there, and looks like there's quite a bit in some of these frames too. So, but this is just full of honey. Alrighty. This one's gonna be messy there, I think. Lots and lots of honey in here, which is a bummer. That was a healthy, there's the cluster. They're down there in that corner. Probably protecting the queen. This group has been dead a long time. It's all moldy. There were a lot of bees in this hive. This is a strong, healthy hive. They're really cranking away. Lots of honey, lots of bees. I could hear them during the winter. The frames are real full. Have to take all of these out. Now see, these frames are mostly been emptied of honey. But again, these bees just look like they were working when they froze. A little bit of honey in these two frames that I just took out. That's where they would have been rearing brood for the winter. So, but they had plenty of honey stores in that upper. It was a healthy hive going into winter. Such a bummer. Such a bummer it didn't make it. Good honey around the brood areas. A lot of honey on these frames, I can see. Yeah, these are heavy. Heavy with honey. Heavy with honey. And the last one here. Good honey on that side, and a little bit of honey going on that side. I'll show you down inside here. Lots of bees. And this one, they were obviously clustered down on this side. So I've got all these frames full of honey. And unfortunately, a whole bunch of frozen dead bees. So I'm going to clean up these hives a little bit, and then I gotta get them put away in the shop so wasps and other bees don't come in. I don't get my 2 nukes for 10 more days, or maybe 11, 12 more days. And we'll set them up over there on our new property where we'll be building. and I gotta decide what to do with this honey. I'm gonna call and ask around. Should I just harvest it or throw it into the next set of hives? I mean, the bees will, I can set all these frames in. They'll rebuild and clean things up and haul out dead bees. If there are some down in the little pods, they'll redo the comb, clean it all up, use the honey, move it around, do whatever they need to do. But so either this honey will be a super starter to those 2 nukes, or I may just harvest 10 frames of it. See how it goes. Yeah, let me clean these up and then I'll close up the video. All right, trying to do this without getting honey all over. I cleaned up both of these, so these are all honey, like 8 or 9 frames of almost solid honey. 9 or so frames of 8 frames of solid honey. So I've got a ton of honey in these 2 things. And then I've got 2 leftover frames that just have a little bit of honey around the edges. And then a lot of dead bees dumped on the ground. So again, I'm trying to do this without getting honey all over my phone. I think I have to go clean it off. But so that's all I've got. I wonder on this one, after looking at things and seeing some mold on the bottom, if there was just too much moisture content in there. I didn't have enough circulation going. And so I'm gonna try the screened bottom frames next year and do a wrap, but also have some ventilation up top so there's better airflow through the hive. I think that's might have what did maybe both hives in, but for sure the second hive. The second hive just had so much honey in it and good food, but on the base of it, it felt like there were a ton of, there was a bunch of mold inside, and then all the bees, most of the bees were down here clustered and they were all moldy. And then the rest just looked like they were working and healthy and had plenty of food. So, and there were a bunch up here that had been eating off the sugar. So again, that's my first year philosophy. Obviously, we saved that hive from all the queen craziness last year. The queen disappeared for 3 weeks, no brood for a month, and all of a sudden they rebound and they produced a whole upper chamber of honey that they had available for a long winter, and then didn't really use it. So anyway, lessons learned. Hope you enjoyed this first year of beekeeping with me, and I'll let you know what I do with those 2 nukes and all this honey.